Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. Today we're going to be drawing and painting a
leaf.
And what's special about this leaf is we're not going to be drawing and painting from a photo this time. We can get inspiration from nature anytime we want. Ansley found this leaf in our yard and it's going to be right here on her desk and we're going to draw and paint it from life. So let's talk about our supplies first. Each of us has a sheet of 4x6" cotton watercolor paper. I'll show you guys what we're using. This is Fluid 100 cold pressed 140-pound cotton watercolor paper, and it's just on a little block, and we've torn them off and are taping them on our desk so they don't float away. We each have a paper towel, a pencil, a watercolor brush, and then I have my Winsor & Newton Cotman watercolor pan set of paints right here, which we'll use after we've drawn the leaf on. And whenever you're using watercolor, of course, you need water. So we have a water jar and a spray bottle for activating the paints. All right, now when you're drawing and painting something from life, first of all, you want to arrange it in a way that's interesting or pleasing to you. And I think it looks good just right here where we can both kind of see it. Now, it's not going to be any kind of perfect shapes, right? The edges are really ripply. It's kind of twisted on the side. It's got this curved stem. What color is it, first of all?
Green.
Definitely a green leaf, but it also has little hints of other colors in it. Like, what color's the stem, for example?
Light green.
Light green, or maybe even a little yellow you see in there. What color is this part of the stem?
Pink.
Yeah.
And green.
Pink, and then it turns green at the end. And then because our light is coming from up above us, what do you think is the brightest part on the leaf?
The top of it.
Yeah, the top part is getting hit by all the light from up above. Then what is it casting underneath it?
Shadow.
Shadow. Now, if you really want to make something look realistic, like it's just popping off the desk, all you have to do is add a shadow. So we'll do that at the end, okay? But the first step is to grab our pencil and sketch it on. Now, the way you're looking at it might be a slightly different perspective than how I'm looking at it. But if you want, you can start with the top, with the point of the leaf, and decide where that's going to be on your paper. I'm just going to put mine right in the middle. And then you can decide how long you want it to be. So indicate the location of the bottom of the stem at the bottom of your paper. Now, the length of the stem is it's a little more than a third of the length of the whole thing. So if you were to divide it into thirds, 1, 2, 3, the stem is a little more than a third of the length of the leaf. So I'm going to draw the stem from here to about here. A little dot to indicate where the leaf is going to start. And then if you want, you can connect a line from the top all the way to the bottom. And what is that line for?
It's for the vein in it and the bottom of it.
Yeah, this is marking the center line of the leaf and the stem, which I'll connect in one line. Nice center line of your leaf. Next, let's figure out the outer edge of our leaf. How wide is it? Now, it's kind of an oval shape, right? We could start with an oval shape if we wanted to, but it's not really an oval, is it? So if you want to make it look even more realistic, you can start with a really light oval shape, or you can do these jagged little edges coming out, which is more what I see, right? And we can start with one side if that's easier. So maybe I'll do the left side first. It kind of dips down like that. And then where there's this little point right here, it starts to go down. And then I see a little bend in the leaf right there. And then it kind of comes up and then back, and then it touches the center point of the leaf. Now I'm going to fix mine a little. I'm going to move my center point over because I made it in the wrong space. But you go ahead and draw one side of your leaf. Make sure to have an eraser on hand in case you make mistakes like I did. So try to look really carefully and draw exactly what you see. Draw the shapes that you see, the little dips, and it looks a little different from your perspective. If you want to start with this side, you can.
I can't see it as well as you can. On my side, it's kind of bended.
It's lifting up. Now that means that this side might look a little shorter, not quite as wide as the way I made mine. Just draw what you see. Drawing from life is all about making observations, looking at what it is you're seeing and drawing what you see rather than what you think the shape is. Now, is the leaf really that tall?
Can't really see it.
Okay, so we're struggling with the 3D aspect of the leaf. So I'm going to move it to her side so she can look at it from more up above and see it a little bit easier. All right, so try that again. And I'm just gonna adjust some of my lines. It's gonna look a little ugly at first. You have to be okay with that. Sketching tends to look a little ugly on the first go. And then the other side, yeah, comes down and there's this little point up here in the upper corner.
It's kind of like a bend. A little bump. Oh, there's a big one.
Good observing. And you see this one's actually a little lower than the left side, isn't it? Just a little bit, not a huge difference, but slightly lower. Maybe bring it up just a little closer because it does touch right in the center. So make sure it's not quite that low. We'll erase that bottom line and just redo the bottom line. You gotta leave room for your nice long stem too. Yeah.
It's a little bit lower.
Yeah, much better. The next thing we need to sketch on are these little veins inside of our leaf. And you can try to make them exactly like what you're seeing. I'm gonna start with the base of the stem, and I see that this little vein extends all the way to this side. So we're gonna draw at an angled line from here to here. And then go ahead and add all the little leaf veins that you see in your leaf. And every leaf is going to be different. So if you guys at home are studying your own leaf that you found in your yard, it's going to look quite a bit different than what we're doing. Just draw what you see. And then these come going the opposite direction. Some of them touch in the middle. Do you see how these two veins touch right in the middle, creating almost a V shape? A V shape. All right, so once you've got your little veins on the leaf sketched on, we can start painting. Now, to make green, you can either mix yellow and blue, or we actually have some greens on our palette already. And this one is kind of an earthy green. It's really close to what we're going to be needing for our leaf. So I'm going to spray that one, and I'm also going to spray the yellow and the red because we need a little of that for our stem. So make sure you have no eraser stuff still on your paper. Wipe that off. Grab your watercolor brush, dip it in the water, and then remove the extra water on your paper towel. So once your brush is wet, it's ready to grab some paint. Let's actually start with this red color, and I'm swirling my brush in there a little bit just so I have enough on my brush to paint the stem. Now I'm not going to paint the tip of the stem. Why?
Because it's a green in real life.
Yeah, it's green in real life. Let's just paint what we see as being red on our stem. And I'm just tracing along my pencil mark with that red color. Then I'm going to rinse that out right away and remove the extra water on my paper towel. Good, now rinse it out, and you can touch the bottom of your cup to get all the paint out and then dry on your paper towel. Next, let's grab this green color. I'm actually going to mix some of it up on the palette so we can see it. Yeah, that's really close to our leaf, isn't it? But we might have to do a couple of layers to get it dark enough. So go ahead and swirl your brush in the palette, grab a ton of paint so that you have, see how mine is loaded with paint. And then we're going to start to paint our leaf, moving in the direction of those leaf veins. So I'm starting on the edge and then pulling the paint towards the middle. The reason for this is if you get really detailed, you can leave little slivers right along your leaf vein that are white. See how I'm not touching the two colors of paint next to each other and I'm leaving a little white streak?
Okay.
Try it. Takes a little bit of control with your brush.
So you have to have your hand really close to your tip.
Exactly. Yeah, it's very easy to control your brush if you're holding it close to the tip of the brush. And so I'm tracing along my leaf vein, leaving a little streak of white paper showing. It's not getting touched by the paint. And that way, it looks like our leaf vein is white. Everywhere in the middle, I'm filling in with green. So try to fill in these big shapes between the leaf veins with solid green. And rest your hand on the table so you don't wiggle too much. All right, if the leaf veins are too hard, just fill in your entire leaf with green. And we can color the leaf veins in with a darker color later. On this side of the leaf, I'm coloring it all in with green so I can show you. I'm showing you, you can paint it all in. You don't have to leave the leaf veins white. And this is a much easier way to color in the leaf. And looks more solid too, I think.
I can't get too much color.
Grab some water and then dip it in the paint so that you have enough wet paint on your brush to release the paint onto your paper. And then try to move your brush in the direction of the leaves in that V shape. See how I'm kind of coloring it like in the shape of the V on this side?
Okay.
And that's gonna help get some of that texture of the way the leaf is growing.
Or it was growing.
Was growing before we picked it up off the ground.
I didn't pick it up. I got it from our tree.
Oh, you picked it from the tree. Oh. I think you might need a little more water in your brush so that the paint goes really fast. Color it in more quickly. Just a little dip like that. And that loosens the paint in your brush so that see how it goes smoother. Maybe a little more. Tiny dip of water. And then a little more paint. Swirl it around. Yeah. That way you have tons of paint on your brush. And try to move your brush along the edge so you have a nice edge, almost like you would use a pencil where you're going along that edge so that it doesn't look messy or fuzzy. Now once your paint is pretty dry, mostly dry or all dry, you can go over the top of it and darken any areas that you want to. I see, from my perspective, that this side of the leaf looks darker to me. It probably doesn't look that way to you, but I'm going to darken the right side of my leaf with another layer of green over the top, just so it kind of looks like the leaf is bent. And if you use the flat belly side of your brush, you can go faster, covering a broader area. Yeah, there you go. Add another layer. Try to move your brush in the direction the leaf veins are working in that shape of the V. Very nice. Now you might be wondering, how are we going to make this look real, like it's really sitting on a table?
We add a shadow on the side.
Yeah. Where do you see a shadow the most? Right here? And maybe a little along this edge? So maybe a rounded shape, kind of matching the shape of the leaf in a gray. We're going to use Payne's Gray, that's this color right here. And maybe rinse all the green out of your brush first. And then here's something fun you can do if you want your shadow to look super soft, like it's just fading away. Do you see how it kind of fades in real life? It doesn't have a hard line. What we're going to do is use clean water right up to the edge of our leaf. Don't touch the leaf with the clean water. But where we paint the shadow, we're going to put a bunch of water. And you can extend it all the way even to the edge of the paper. Don't leave puddles, but make it glossy, shiny, wet, like you're painting with white. And extend it just a little further. The idea here is that when we put in some color, the paint is going to spread out into the area that we wet. All right, so now quickly grab some of your Payne's Gray and paint it into the wet area under your leaf, right next to the leaf.
It's kind of spreading.
Now if it's too dark, dip your brush in the water and remove some of the paint.
That's called thirsty brush.
And then I'm going to add a little shadow on the other side too. Because where I'm seeing my leaf, I see a shadow right here.
I'm going to make it a bit smaller than that one because it's a bit thinner. I'm using the tip of my brush.
Yes, use the tip of your brush if you want the most detail along those shadows. I'm going to use a very light gray now. Do you want to do the stem too? Because the stem is also casting a shadow. So use a little bit of gray underneath the stem, watch. Just very lightly.
Like it's mostly water?
Mostly water, yeah. And that really helps your leaf just pop off the page. That might be a little dark. That's okay though. Still looks like a shadow.
I'm gonna dry it out so I can mop up that paint.
There you go. You can lift some of the paint back out if it goes on too dark. Good job. Whew. What do you think?
I think yours is better. After all, you've been painting more than me.
There is our model with the art and our finished leaves from life. Great job. That was tough, wasn't it? You know, painting from life is a little bit harder because you are looking at something 3D, something in real life. It's not flat like a picture. So that was a little tricky, wasn't it? But the cool thing about this is that we got to study the leaf so closely and really see the beauty in it. And that's what's so amazing about drawing and painting from nature.
I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to click that subscribe button.
Subscribe button. That surprise button. I wish there was a surprise button.
See you in the next video. Bye.